not later. So, we are on slippery slopes. Of course, this is a race for the wool mat, so here is our victory monument right at the beginning, after our little drop down, for our red, cyan, and green wool.
Kind of a traditional kind of victory monument at the start of the map. Nothing unusual about it, unlike some maps. Yeah, and then this kind of PvP gear for the initial kind of skirmish. Last match we saw on here, there was just no initial PvP. Both teams just ignored each other and rushed forward. So we may see that again, or we may see some exchange of fire.
Okay. Really, again, it's one of those short drops, so it's not too stomach flipping. You get right down in the action pretty quick. We do have... You know, I never noticed that. Both of these trees are like lopped off their leaves at the top.
There's a chest. There's a chest in one of them, I think. Yeah, under the ice block. There's a chest which I think has just.
Under the ice.
It has like arrows and stuff in there, I think.
At first glance in the corner, I thought that was a chest exposed. I'm like, no, that's just bark. Okay, so we've got 3 wool dungeons that you have to get in there and get a wool from. So first one, right here, Martin.
Yep, first wool. You drop down. It's mostly PvE with a little bit of exposure to PvP. Come down into the ore mine kind of area and then make your way through these dark tunnels. Spawners around that you have to deal with, spawning angry zombie pigmen and some zombies with various potion effects, and kind of make your way around the spiraliness of it and fight your way up against the water current to the wool, which is just in that little wool box in there.
Right.
A lot of the time exposed to PvP, of course. Although I don't know if we'll see a lot of PvP on this wool. It tends to be one that people kind of find an opportunity to quietly run while the other team is occupied. So we'll see.
Right, and it is an easy one to slip past because there's plenty of places to do that. And really, looking at this dungeon, all this thick bedrock, pass around really not possible on this particular dungeon.
No, I'm pretty sure it's not. I kind of looked at the number of places that I thought it might be possible, and I don't think it is. So you have to make your way back. So that's
through everything.
It's a pretty chill dungeon, though. If you've gotten your way there, then you've probably taken out the zombies and the spawners, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem.
And it's not horrendously bad for the spawners. There's only a few of them dotted around, so it's...
Now, there is a villager spawner down there, which is interesting, but I don't think we've ever really seen it come into play.
Is there a villager spawner in...
No,
you mean that's in the Lapis mine, isn't it?
Oh, it's in the Lapis.
Yeah.
That's not quite there.
I'm ahead of the game.
I'm still kind of hoping that we will see that used. So the villager spawner is in the Lapis mine kind of area, and it spawns villagers who have a trade of emerald blocks for power 3 flame 1 bows with a fairly low durability.
It's a worthy trade.
I mean, they only have like 25 shots or something on the bows, but nevertheless, those are really powerful bows to get. And there are 3 emerald blocks later on the map that you can use to make that trade. They also trade lapis for arrows as well. So yeah, I'd quite like to see that used.
There's a zombie spawner nearby, so you've got to deal with that if you want to have access to your trade.
Yeah, because otherwise you stand there. When I was exploring the map a few days ago, I was like trying to get the villagers to trade, and every time the zombie would jump down and kill the villager. So yeah, you do have to take out the zombie first. And then beyond that point here, we come into second wool, which is this again part of the Lapis mine area, and it's the very strictly PvP based wool, very exposed, kind of a lot of the time only 1 block thick, and you have to make your way around this kind of route to get to the wool, which is just in this little brick edged hole in the wall there.
Yeah, it's not too bad though, because there's a pass around. So
yeah, there is pass around that you can dig through to get to. There is a bit of difficulty with this one in the sense that you are really exposed in some areas, and you'll see often a lot of cannoning to really get rid of blocks. And I think the last match we saw, the team was using TNT themselves to clear the area and just make it an easier drop down.
Yeah, and we saw that really interesting pass around where they actually placed the items and got them to pass through a corner of bedrock to behind.
Oh yeah, it was over here, I believe.
Whereabouts are you? I see you.
Above you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can dig down around here, pop through the ice, and it gets you pretty close to the edge of the wall room, which allows you to place some fiendish gravel to bring the entities up through the blocks.
Ah.
Yeah, and we did see that sneaky pass around.
It does require 2 people though, as opposed to the usual pass rounds, which is normally just one dude digging.
Yeah.
Right, because somebody's got to be at the other corner to let it, to scoop up those entities.
Yep.
And then onto the area beyond that, we have this kind of really rough and rugged terrain here with these hills and valleys. There are resources in here like the iron blocks and diamond and the emerald blocks that you can use to trade with the villagers in like various caves spread along this area. Not all in one easily cannonable location. Everything's a little bit spread out, so it takes time to gather them, but obviously getting geared up and getting resources is really vital in Race for Wool, so I expect we will see teams taking the time to collect at least some of the iron and make themselves some armour and stuff.
And then one of the absolute most interesting wool dungeons, I think, ever, and we've seen unbelievable blitz runs with this one, swan diving down into a little bitty pool of water, the whole 9 yards. So this is this beautiful ice-capped sort of turrety structure, castle-y structure, and it comes down right here is where you drop out, and you've got to get all the way down here. Obviously, water is the method of choice. It's a long drop.
Yeah, there's pretty much only 2 ways you can get down. One is to use water, and the other is to do like the gravel pillar and then dig your way down, which would be incredibly slow and quite dangerous. So most people use water.
Or if you're lucky enough to get an ender pearl.
Right.
Or yeah, I guess so, but yeah.
Yeah. Now, of course, he being Thungan the Mapmaker, does provide gear up there to help you with the water, but the problem with water is you will be easy to be shot, you will be slow, and climbing up a water stream is a pain.
Exactly. So getting back up is the biggest problem with this wall. Getting down is easy, but the return journey and either swimming up or pillaring up or whatever teams choose to do, that is where it's going to get interesting.
Right, so this is one of those interesting wools where getting here first isn't necessarily going to win you the wool, because oftentimes you're just getting your way out as somebody's here set up to sniper you and make it difficult. So a lot of interesting stuff usually happens right around here. A lot of PvP opportunities, a lot of you'll see a lot of teams try to claim this as a bit of a choke point.
Exactly. So the match is between Musclecraft Phoenix and Euphoria. We don't know a lot about Euphoria. They're a new team to RMCT as far as I'm aware. Haven't really heard a lot about them. Does anyone know anything about this team?
Not particularly, although, since we're talking about them anyway, Euphoria, let's take a look at their picture. They're not really recognized names, but I think they were formed fairly recently. I mean, we didn't get any feedback from them, and we kind of queried. Their members are Daft Savage, Cog's Tooth, Lolcats, Honeycomb, and Slapshot. I know they definitely haven't been in any of our tournaments, but that doesn't mean that they haven't been working on pickup games and still trying to, play. That's vastly different from Musclecraft Phoenix.
Yeah, Musclecraft have been around the first open house pretty much, I think, which would have been like a year and a bit ago at this point.
Right, Musclecraft was definitely participating in RMCT1. I think they did RMCT2, and we didn't see them in the third one.
Yeah, so they are a really long-running team. Although I think their roster has changed a bit over time, so they now have,
right.
I guess you have a slide for them, I don't have mine set up, but they have Parker, Nick Flame, T2T2, Diamond X, Ibs, and Grey Geo. I'm not sure which 4 of those are here.
You are so good. You got all of those in order of the slide. That is a pro move right there.
There you go.
Nice. Okay, so, and that is Musclecraft Phoenix. And of course, Phoenix, because we are reborn like the Phoenix. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of that stuff on the RMCT subreddit. So
yeah, Musclecraft Phoenix have been having a lot of support from people on YouTube. They've been receiving a large number of interesting videos.
Yes,
those are definitely a must watch.
Must watch. Yeah, I'm not even gonna say what my favorite was because it was It was dreadfully naughty, but
Oh,
it
they
was
were all
still
my
my
favorite.
favorite. Oh my goodness, there were some interesting ones. So yeah, it's kind of interesting to see the team, and that's why they really want to say reborn, because or Phoenix is thrown on there because they are, although they've done some roster changes, they are not quite the same Musclecraft from before, but they are coming back strong, all experienced players.
And they also have the best website of any.
Oh
I mean,
wow, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It
An
is
inspiration to all budding
inspiration.
website designers. A mecca
Well,
of sites.
curious, how are we doing on getting everybody? I see Lolcats, I see Daft, I see Honeycomb.
I just seen Cyclo join the game. I wonder if he has been subbed in as their fourth because they were having
I was
issues.
curious. Okay, we see Diamond Dax, T2T2, Nick Flame.
But Martin, we never have roster problems.
No, Daft Savage is up here.
Oh yeah, then.
That is 4, isn't it?
So we're good to go. Sumo ready.
Daft Savage, Lolcats, yeah. Honeycomb. Alright, it's like Parker's up here.
Daft Savage and Parker facing up. So Daft Savage is representing Euphoria, Parker is representing Musclecraft Phoenix, and here we go.
There it goes. Ooh.
Well,
Euphoria
GG to
wins.
Euphoria.
Sumo.
Yeah.
So that means Euphoria will get to choose the lane they get. And the sumo is kind of a tradition of Race for World. People kind of fight to get lane choice. It really makes very little difference which lane you are in. Unless you're doing really,
Right.
really technical stuff with cannons, or you're just really familiar with practicing in one particular lane, it doesn't really matter.
Right, it's not so much an issue as it was in the very beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Because the cannons and the TNT functionality has changed so much.
There are still some
direct fire.
situations. But I think with
Yes,
certain
direct
things
fire.
like gassed cannons, there is a right lane and a wrong lane to be in. But
Ooh,
Right.
like
other than that, it's pretty much just about what you are familiar with and what you've practiced in.
Okay, so we do have Musclecraft Phoenix on the gold side. And wait a minute.
there you go. They
That's,
fixed it. They fixed it.
There, okay, on the gold side, and we have Euphoria on the diamond side. I was just gonna say, and we have Cyclo as a sub in there for Euphoria. So Diamond X, Parker, T2T2, and Nick Flame are the 4 we have from Musclecraft. Now Parker has been a big help with a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, like helping to put together the servers for the open house, and he is the guy that if you want to get involved in the throwdowns, kind of a non-official but ran like an official match, that is the contact person you want to do with that, so we can get you in the big chat and we can hook you up with Parker. Looks like they're getting set.
Any
people?
pre-match predictions?
No, I don't have any predictions. I don't make predictions.
Oh really?
I gotta say, I love an underdog, but I'm kind of expecting a lot from Musclecraft because I love Musclecraft from RMCT1 just because, we got to work with them a little bit. It was like they were the big boys. So I kind of have a soft spot for Musclecraft, but I love to see the underdogs go. Although Cyclo, you need to get in your pit.
Another one
on.
for Switzerland.
Yeah, another neutrality here. Their player just got back on. Oh, they're going to try to get their 4th one instead of their subbed in quickly. That would be something worth hanging on about as long as it's not too long. Taking a look at these skins, I have to. I love them. Lolcats is adorable. Honeycomb looks like he's covered in pink icing. Nice. Daft Savage makes me think of Daft Punk, and I will refrain from singing. Parker in his suit. He's still in his suit. I thought he was going to change his. He's too fancy.
I think Diamond X was doing last-minute skin designs, like literally
Diamond X
10
looks
minutes before the game.
slick. Uh-oh.
Wait, is honeycomb an
T2T2,
ice cream
always
sandwich?
good. It kind of looked like it, didn't it?
Maybe.
Let me see.
Like some sort of
Or
ice cream, maybe?
like a popsicle stick.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
no.
A waffle cone.
Yeah,
Like a
definitely.
cone.
That's a nice skim.
Strawberry ice cream cone.
Yeah, I like
love
it.
it. I was thinking icing at first, but you're right. The little grid pattern makes it look like a cone.
Indeed.
Indeed. Alright, and there's, of course, the Thungan head and a beautiful Spawn logo on top. We saw him in the last match. Good luck, have Batman. Ooh, I like this phrase.
That is very random.
Alright, so obviously good luck, have fun.
We'll go with it.
Cyclo is still here. The rest have to figure out
Oh,
if their
well,
fork
they've
is going
roofied
to...
up.
Yep.
They have.
They're
They're
ready.
ready. The rest may have said, no, it's time to go, so... Moving on with who you've got. We saw that happen last time. I would love to see great things out of Euphoria, so let's see what they've got. Right here, you're going to see the drop down.
I think one thing I'm looking forward to with them when it comes to new teams is always listening in and seeing how they communicate, because you can always tell with new teams how much are they talking, you know, what are they relaying, you know, is it the awkward silence or is it we've got the silence?
Yeah, and there is a real difference. But you're right, though, and just because they're a new team doesn't mean anything. PME was a new team last season, and they won it. Whiskey Brigade was a new team, second RMCT, second RMCT, and they won it.
I mean, absolutely every single RMCT has effectively been won by a new team, so...
Right, because obviously the first one, everybody was a new team. So let's see how these guys do.
Here we go.
3, 2, 1, go!
And there's the drop.
Oh, Honeycomb
Looked
stuck
like,
off them a little bit.
Nick Flame
saw that.
landed on the side there and took a bit of damage to get the extra speed. He is rushing ahead quite fast.
Yeah, half of Musclecraft is rushing ahead. We're just now getting into the forest with half of Euphoria.
There's the first kill going to Cyclo, taking out Diamond Axe.
Very nice.
T2 has headed to the chest right by the pre-built cannon there. He looks to be collecting some supplies from there. That has TNT in it.
Really, Euphoria has really picked it up. They're grabbing their stuff. We're set up to shoot. Cyclo is shooting. Nick Flame taken out. He's doing some good damage for their sub, and they're moving through to the forest too.
Yeah, pretty evenly matched so far, though Phoenix taking some early hits. Probably going to be delaying them by no more than a minute or so.
If Cyclo's come in as a last-minute sub, then I guess it's quite likely his role would be just put PvP pressure on people wherever you can.
Sort of a jungler of sorts.
TNT and Diamond Axe have made it forward. They're in their little mountain fort here. We've got equipment being put on, enchanted bows, giving some return fire by T2, and Diamond is moving forward. Oh, just jumped that gap.
Parker
Cyclo taken
doing
out by
a
T2.
pretty interesting strat for first wall. I've never seen this before.
What's he doing?
Oh,
He's digging down from the little pond just before the staircase.
digging straight down from the pond.
Maybe he knows where it goes. Maybe he...
I'm curious where he's coming out. He is coming out inside here. That's just making a very safe passage. It looks like he may just... Yeah,
Yep.
we have a very specific dig in here.
T2
Lolcat's taken out by a creeper.
looks to be building a cannon here on top of the sandstone house.
Oh yeah, digging out that little house is always a major victory when
He
it comes
has,
to supplies.
He has broken one of the ice blocks to get some water, and he's just building things up, and he's carrying TNT, so there's definitely a cannon on the way there.
Meanwhile, Honeycomb just set off a pre-made cannon. Didn't have a real big load on it. Dropped down a little bit. Didn't take out their cannon, but did do some damage
T2
below.
blowing up his own house.
Oh!
With
Oh,
very
no.
little
Oh.
effect to
Backfire,
the Euphoria
that's bad.
team. Yeah.
Okay,
I didn't quite see how that
Honeycomb
happened.
setting up another one. It went right past everything, so we've got a bit of a timing issue. Oh yeah, that's some damage on their own house.
I think I'm going to take an early look at each team and their communications. I'll get back to you guys.
Okay.
Another, oh, T2 taken out by Creeper. Another really high arc TNT on this pre-built cannon. Honeycomb is trying to do some damage, but really not been terribly successful yet. Here comes another.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he needs to take out
completely
that iron railing and place something else there because that is shooting way too high.
Right. Now, I'm curious about Parker again. Alright, Parker is steadily running first wool. Looks like he has absolutely no competition whatsoever. What I think he did was just, he came down, he dug in, just kind of as a safe way of getting in and out once he's got it. He dug right along the edge of the bedrock and still came in kind of the normal way.
Diamond Axe is...
Looks...
There he goes.
Yep, like he's at the wall, so I was about to say, it looks like he's right at the wall, and there it is.
Diamond Axe has picked up the enchantment table, and he is along at the top of third almost. I wondered if he was going to run the wool, but he's just standing there sniping at the moment.
T2 and Nick Flame have both got themselves some basic armor. Nick Flame does have an iron sword. T2's going down. Looks like they're all raiding all of the chests that they can get to.
Exchange of fire going on here between Daft Savage and Diamond Axe.
I thought we might see T2 starting to possibly run second, but instead I think he's setting up a cannon.
I think T2 may be their cannon guy.
Yeah, we've got brick set up. He is fairly well equipped. He's looking to try to shoot with some arrows. He's definitely laid down a couple of bricks. We'll have to see what happens there. Then this time, let's not blow stuff up.
Yeah, we'll see if he has any more luck.
We do have a lot of progress being made. Oh, Cyclo just hit the ground. I was going to say they had 2 or 3 of their team almost all the way to the end here. Daft Savage is pushing towards third.
Yeah, Diamond Axe is putting a lot of pressure on them. I think he was responsible for Cyclo's death just then. Savage is pretty low. Actually, he's healing up now, but he's staying well out of sight of Diamond Axe at the moment.
Well, and Diamond Axe is already taking care of the water for the drop here. So
yeah.
He has done that.
There he goes.
I mean, complete.
Daft Savage is taken out as well now.
They haven't actually got that wool, but it is fully prepared. So Diamond Axe is looking to just get up here and keep everybody else
Some
off.
pretty interesting stuff in terms of what I was saying about communication. Cyclo is, as far as we know, the most experienced player for Euphoria.
Yes.
He seems to be the only one talking. I had very, very limited talking by the rest of the team. Some out, I'm taking damage, or I'm about to die, but nothing really much more than that.
So the last minute sub is kind of running the brigade right now.
Not even that, he's just kind of keeping everyone updated, but there doesn't seem to be much rolling communications into regards to whatever the plan is for their strategy. On the other hand, Musclecraft, who is a very experienced team, Parker and Nick were the only 2 who I heard talking. The odd word from T2, Parker, who just finished first, is heading up to third, but doesn't seem to know exactly what the plan is for that, I think, because he didn't seem to have the blocks for it, as he mentioned to his teammates. But yeah, interesting stuff.
Diamond Axe has been punching trees over here, so I wonder whether he is collecting the blocks.
Collecting blocks.
On Parker's behalf.
So they had to pass over. We need it. T2 is still kind of setting himself up over here with some building periodically, but he's really focusing on the shots, trying to help harass Daft Savage. And we've got somebody else down here. Is that Parker?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's Parker again. Looks like he's actually just going to go ahead and run the second.
Doesn't seem to be under fire.
Yeah, well, Daft Savage was trying, but he's kind of getting shot from several directions. Now, Cyclo was making a push. Yeah, Honeycomb's in here getting supplies. Was making a push towards third.
Yeah, he's still trying. Diamond Axe is putting a lot of pressure on, making it really difficult for them to move forward beyond really this little structure where they are at the moment.
Yeah, going to be very hard to make a push across. Both of them are pretty much in very similar armor, though. Just leather.
Parker reaching the U-bend for second.
Oh, and here we go. We've got Nick Flame making his way over to third. We do have a bed set up. We haven't had night yet, but we do have a bed set up down here.
Yeah, we bet it'll be nighttime in a minute and a bit.
There goes Nick Flame making a little stairway up with TNT. Very quick blocks.
What could possibly go wrong pillaring up with TNT?
No, nothing at all. And he is going down. Looks like he's caught the water. He's working his way down right now.
He's going to grab the protection helmets, and there he goes. And he's going to have that third wool.
Nice splash. You saw what he did. He cut through. It was already prepared for him. He's got what he needs. Beautiful.
Yep, and no pressure from Euphoria, so he should be safe to just swim back up.
Right, and you can see it's a couple of blocks wide for the water. It's not going to be too difficult to make his way back up here. It's not like it's one by one stream to climb up.
And Parker is just going into the wool room for the second wool as well. In fact, he was he's been carrying green for a while. He may be getting ready to pass that around.
Yeah, green, he said he's got secured. I heard him say.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So this is cyan, so he's just picked up the cyan. He just took a long time to pick it up, so I thought he presumably already had it, but he didn't.
He may have been communicating. 1, 2, 3. Musclecraft Phoenix have all 3 walls. We just need to get everything secure on the Victory Monument, and we are less than 10 minutes into this match.
It's kind of interesting. We haven't really seen Euphoria touch any of the dungeons, mainly because they can't get access to third. Under pressure for second, but first, which has been relatively quiet, is also quite untouched.
So Parker has done some kind of a pass around here. I didn't catch exactly what he did, but I guess he's passed it off to T2 in a similar way to what we saw in the last game.
Cornering with the entities.
No, T2 doesn't have it. He's passed it around somewhere. There must be an alternative pass around that he did there.
Okay, yeah, because we're only showing... Yeah, T2 doesn't have any...
No, and Parker placed something. I couldn't quite catch exactly what he was doing, and then he suicided.
If you guys want to come inside the wall room, there's some blocks removed that maybe one of you guys would be able to identify.
He was up on the top here, and then he's just replaced some blocks here. I can't pass through to see what was there, but I think
Parker is up top with the cyan wall. He has retrieved it.
Okay, well that was a fast retrieval.
Well, remember, he had made a little bit of a walkway earlier with the first wall, so I'm not a bit surprised if he was already setting up things for second. And this is what we'll see with these experienced teams. They know to poke around and look for access points. Looks like Parker is running back. He's going to go ahead and place his 2 wool. Possibly...
Yep, red wall is just by second. It is being run by Nick, who is pretty close to...
Nick has got that back.
This happened last time. We had no action on any of the wool rooms, and first wall was fully accessible, but nobody really went for it. So Parker not pushing all the way. He's kind of going back, getting supplies.
All 4 members of Euphoria are by... none of them are doing anything.
I think we've reached that stage in the game, haven't we, where they're just starting to look a little bit bewildered. I think they've lost their focus.
Yeah.
They are depleted on resources, they're being swarmed by mobs, and it's night time, although they have lit up pretty well, and they're just
Cyclo getting knocked out.
They don't know what they're doing. Letting spawn.
Oh, we are at the victory run. We just saw, I see red being placed as they go. Nick Flame is right behind Parker. Parker's at half a heart.
Boom!
1, 2, 3 placed.
And that was
like a boss. Half a heart
12 minutes and 2 seconds. That was a quick game.
What?